One final down, 2 to go. And now we turn our attention to the Prix 95 final, scheduled to take place over 12 minutes. So from pole position, it's going to be Paul Larsson in the number 30 from Denmark. He'll have Sweden's Giovanni Neri alongside on the front row in the number 92. Henrik Kambrink and Kim Stift-Ipsen in the 147 and the 95 round out the second row. Leif Søren Pedersen and Kasper Jeppesen in the numbers 32 and 12 round out an all Danish row 3. Mia Bach Pedersen and Sten Elkjær in the numbers 4 and 84 round out row 4. Completing the top 10, Michael Edelhardt in the number 40 and Ollie Anderson in the number 61. Jannik Jorgensen in the 76 starts 11th, Heather Morgensmark Inthenai in the number 55. With the defending Prix 95 champion, Kim Engström, starting all the way down in 13th in the number 70. He'll be joined by last year's runner-up, Jimmy Fredslund Ibsen in the 100, with Per Langil de Lausen due to start 15th in the number 51, representing Denmark. Well, drama in the pre-final with the winner, last year's champion, and the runner-up inadvertently coming together on lap 2 out of turn number 3. But now they've got to do something that they thought they wouldn't have to do, which is to fight their way back through the field to get to the sharp end of the grid. So all I can say is this. If Jan van Handel can do it in Prix 89, you can bet your bottom dollar that Kim Engström and Jimmy Fredslund Ibsen will do exactly the same here in the Prix 95 final. However, you've got quite a lot of good pedalers in this race, including our front row. But how will the pace be dictated? That will be done by the front row when they take us through into the tram lines and the lights go out. So 12 minutes to decide our Prix 95 champion. Will Kim Engström defend his title in the next 12 and a bit minutes? Let's find out as we get racing. Good start by Henrik Kambrink, who goes up the inside of Giovanni Neri, behind Paul Larsson, who holds on to the race lead as early doors. It's going to be a possible lunge from Leif Søren Pedersen, but did not get through on Giovanni Neri, who is trying to get back at the 147. At the back end of the field, a couple of stragglers, including Sten Elkjær in the 84. But the drivers making their way out of turn 5 into 6. And someone's definitely got the elbows out and is making the engine sing all the way up to close to 20,000 RPM. But at the moment, Paul Larsson, look at the gap he's got, and we're not even after the opening lap yet. Paul Larsson is flying, and his lead, get this, 1 3/4 seconds as, Henrik Kambrink and Giovanni Neri all side by side through at turn 2. And Leif Søren Pedersen is going to mug the pair of them, is he? No, he's not. Nearly got 2 for the price of 1 coming out of turn number 3. But Giovanni Neri, a little bit of contact, right front to left rear, and they're wheel to wheel, they're banging panels, and that's it, up and over, and another drama there for the number 95. Oh, it's all kicked off. Giovanni Neri out. Leif Søren Pedersen might be out, the number 95 of Kim Stift-Ipsen, and also that was the number 12 of Kasper Jeppesen. Oh, dearie me, Kim Stift-Ipsen, please keep your temper under control. I'm sure that someone will be probably going over to have a quick word and just sort of say, right, this is not the place, this is not the time. It's an incident, it happens. One incident happens and it carries on with a domino effect. So, Paul Larsson is trying to get away and scamper into the local Danish countryside. Well, he's 2.3 seconds up the road from Henrik Kambrink. Morgensmark Inthenai up to 3rd. As Ollie Anderson gets through on Mia Bach Pedersen, or no, that wasn't, that was the number 40, Michael Edelhardt. They're battling over 7th position. So get this, 4th, Kim Engström, 5th, Jimmy Fredslund Ibsen. So now, from where they started, 13th and 14th respectively, Both of them have gained 9 places apiece. Oh no! More dramas, more drivers going over the back of somebody else. And I didn't quite catch the number there in the hairpin. So somebody else has caught strife by going over the back bumper of somebody else, this time through turn 6. So right, now this is interesting. Kim Engström let Jimmy Fredsland Ibsen pass, who's just put the fastest lap of the race down. So the number 100 has just put in a 1 minute 1.4, 1 minute 1.86 for the defending Prix 95 CKR champion. Oh, someone's got a very noisy exhaust. That was Steen Elkjaring, who might be pulled for a mechanical black flag. That exhaust is very, very noisy, so that might be, the baffles might be broken on it. But now the thing is that there's less pressure in some respects on Kim Engström and Jimmy Fredsland Ibsen, because they have already finished first and second on the podium. But Fredsland Ibsen wants to get things sorted out and go one better, go to the top step of the podium. And what's more, I can't believe this, after being let through by Kim Engström, Jimmy Fredsland Ibsen is now the fastest driver on track. He's just put in a 1 minute 1.114. That is a second quicker than the race leader, who is 4.7 seconds up the road. And now, Mogens Marquardt Inthenai is going to find that the 100 of Fredsland Ibsen is now going to get past him. Looks like it might be Michael Edelhart that has just retired from the race. So 4 carts out on the second lap through turn 4. And then Edelhart over the back of, I think, Steen Elkjaring, whose exhaust was completely noisy as hell, coming across the start-finish line. Right, here we go. This is going to be the move for third. As Marquardt Inthenai, gives him enough racing room and tries to fight back at him through turn 2. But there's Jimmy Fredsland Ibsen through for P3. Marquardt Inthenai, that was a bit too, I think it was a bit too overzealous by the 55. Tried to late break into turn 3 and nearly clattered into the back of the number 100. That's not what you want to do in something as important as this. So Jimmy Fredsland Ibsen now 3 seconds away from the race leader. Maybe not even that. So Kim Engström currently sitting in 5th place. His last time round was 2.5 seconds behind Fredsland Ibsen in the 100. But at the moment, Paul Larsson leads after 6 laps. 6/10 ahead of Henrik Ambrink. But how far behind is Jimmy Fredsland Ibsen? Get that to the best of nearly 2.4 seconds. And now, Larsson is looking to see where Ambrink is in terms of proximity. A bit of adjustment on the right-hand side for the 147. Sometimes can be due down to the carburetors. But this is getting closer and closer still. The number 100 from Denmark, rounding out the top 3. Last year's runner-up is gunning for that top step of the podium. We've got 5 minutes to go. And Ambrink is closing in on the race leader, coming through out of what will be turn number 10. So, Larsson looks over the left shoulder. Ambrink is 0.2, just under 2/10 behind. And now the gap between first and third is now 1.5 seconds and closing. The more the time counts down, the quicker that Jimmy Fredsland Ibsen in the 100 seems to be through every single corner, every single braking point, every single acceleration zone out of the turns. Turn, point and squirt, in other words, is what Jimmy Fredsland Ibsen is doing, but there will be a little bit of style little bit of panache to help close that gap significantly, and that is being done. So gap last time around was 1.468 seconds between the top three. I would hazard a guess we might be probably close to half that. Maybe 3/4 of a second, maybe even half a second now. Because look at the run that Jimmy Fredslund-Ipsen has got across the line. Lap 8, it's 3.5 tenths. Well, stone the crows, Jimmy Fredslund-Ipsen put in a 1 minute 3:65 on a couple of previous tours, but he just did a 1 minute .444. And what's more, Paul Larson's lap time, 1 minute 1.554. Ambrink's lap time, 1 minute 1.567. It's not a case of if, it's a case of when. Does Jimmy Fredslund-Ipsen get past the two in front? Well, that's going to be a mere formality. I would probably say in the next lap or two, he'll get at least one, or he might get the pair of them. Ambrink defends, going through into turn 9. Now into 10, and the little chicane. But now into towards turn 1. Here we go. Fredslund-Ipsen up the inside of Ambrink. That's second. That was calm and cool as a cucumber on that front for the number 100 from Denmark. And at the moment, it's a Danish 1-2. Paul Larson now having to have eyeballs in the back of his head, having that sixth sense. But here comes Ipsen up the inside before turn 5. That's it. Race lead from down all the way in 14th place. Jimmy Fredslund-Ipsen does a Jan van Handel from even further back down the grid. And we have 2 minutes to go. Now he's going to start pulling away. And folks, you won't want to miss what's coming next. It's the last race of Classic Kart Race 100cc Euro Grand Prix 2024. The Prix 2000 and the Prix 2000 Plus final is up next, and it's going to put everyone through the ringer. But Jimmy Fredslund-Ipsen leading the way by 7.5 tenths of a second. This is another Cinderella story where the drivers, it's going to be 2 in a row that this happened this year, that the driver that has won the race has finished outside of the top 10. I don't think that's happened in quite a long time, but it just goes to show that if you've got the car underneath you, you've got the presence of mind, and you've got the confidence to do so, you will give it absolutely everything. And I think possibly that Henrik Ambrink could be on the verge of maybe coming into strife, because he's got one kart behind him, the number 55 of Mogens Makvar Inthanai in the 55, and they are battling for the final place on the podium. So Makvar Inthanai needs to catch up and pass Ambrink. That's going to be easier said than done. Kim Engström won't defend his title for a second year in a row, but a gallant effort to get himself up into what is P5, as that is the number 76 of Yannick Jorgensen letting the leaders through. So we're very quickly running out of time and running out of corners and laps here at Voyens. So the timer now expires this time as Jimmy Fredslund-Ipsen comes through into turn 9 for what will be the penultimate time, as the last lap flag, the yellow flag with a black cross on it, signalling the last lap of the pre-95 final. He just needs to calmly get this kart across the line. But what a Herculean drive. Jan van Handel from the Netherlands, 11th to 1st in the pre-89 final. Now Jimmy Fredslund-Ipsen from Denmark in the number 100 has gone one better. He's leveled it up. 14th on the grid after disaster for both him and Kim Engström. Still the battle wages on for P2. Paul Larson, our winner in the pre-final. And Henrik Kambrink in third place. Mogens Marquardt, Inthanai and Kim Engström round out the top 5. But what a drive it's been. Picking off his opponents like taking candy off a baby. One Cinderella story has hit Voyens this weekend. Now another. Second last year. Now 2024. Prix 95 champion from 14th on the grid. Jimmy Fredslund Ipsen wins by 4.2 seconds. Ahead of Paul Larson, who started from pole in the pre-final and a deserving runner-up. And Henrik Kambrink makes it a completely different... I'm going to have a look here. It was Kim Engström, Jimmy Fredslund Ipsen, and Mikkel Alm, who wasn't able to make it this year. Mikkel, hopefully we have you back next year. A completely different top 3, apart from one notable difference. Jimmy Fredslund Ipsen becomes the CKR 100cc Euro Grand Prix Prix 95 champion, ahead of Paul Larson, Henrik Kambrink, and we've got Mogens Marquardt, Inthanai, Kim Engström, the outgoing champion in 5th, ahead of Mia Bach Pedersen. Good run by the number 4. Keep an eye on her over the next couple of years in CKR. Ollie Anderson, Jannik Jorgensen, Steen Elkjær Ring round out the top 8. But what a race we've had. But folks, it's time for the big one. It's for the Classic Kart Race 100cc Euro Grand Prix. Prix 2000 and Prix 2000 Plus. The final is up next.